Ah, good evening, folks. Good evening. Good evening. YouTubers moving on. Philippines Information Channel. He's given it a couple of weeks. He's turning his channel over to some friend of his from Thailand. I think it has to do with the fact that I think he's turning 62. He's going to get his Social Security on top or whatever. Probably doesn't need to rely on his income, but I really think it's coming down to I don't know. I just call it the usual. I think. Especially Steve. Steve has been talked out. I mean, how many times can you discuss? Look, I'll be honest with you. I was in a supermarket today, and I was astounded as usual, especially Metro and Ayala. I was just astounded by their prices. But how many times, and I had a short video because my battery was just about dead at the moment. I'm not even going to bother to put it on. I think everybody's got the idea that it's expensive living out here. You know, without 3,000 vloggers talking about how much does it cost to live out here in the Philippines. I think everybody's getting a hint on that. But you have to actually be here to actually see the prices of everything from canned goods to everything. You have to be in the store. Don't listen to everybody. Just experience it. Come out here if that's your plan to live in the Philippines and, kind of see what you're getting into out here before you make that permanent decision to move out here. Because I get the normal reaction. I do the normal reaction thing. It's like Home Alone, the kid on there with the hands on his face, with his mouth open and his eyes wide open. When I see the prices on some of the most simplest items in there, and you could obviously see that it's the middle class and upper middle class Filipinos and foreigners that can afford to buy a lot of that food in like Metro Ayala, especially. And so I canned it. Pardon the expression. I canned it. I was going to definitely do a show on that, but I said, nah, man, why? Everybody's got the idea already that it's a hell of an expensive place to live. I think Steve, Philippines Information Channel, realizes that you can only so often just kind of rehash old hash. I feel that way too. Always do. I try to put a different spin on things, but I think a lot of people on here they run out of things to talk about unless somebody's trying to push some drama to get people to come to their channel and get more subs and watch hours and so forth, and maybe try to make a little money. But what if you have nothing? What if you have nothing to talk about? Well, they just run the old spinner again and talk about the same old topics that they've talked about probably several hundred times over how many years, which everybody else does. I think everybody's pretty much getting bored on YouTube. I think it's kind of reached a certain plateau where people are just scurrying around, just surfing the channels on here, trying to find something. I guess Mix Philippines channel, he, he's trying to justify, well, this channel was taken off, and yeah, it was purposeful. Well, people get on and they have this go on a power surge, and next thing you know, they get taken off, and he's saying it's purposely, and well, but I did that to just kind of start from scratch. No, no, you have to do that to start from scratch. All your watch hours and viewers, everything else. Come on, get real. Everybody's got an excuse for something on here. So they're either dropping like flies or they're getting off YouTube. And I think people are kind of in burnout city for the most part because I know I am. I've been for a long time, but the trooper I am, I stayed on when there's really no reason, you know. Maybe I just like to talk. I don't know, but maybe it became a hobby of mine. But every good thing comes to an end. See what I'm saying? Every good thing comes to an end. Again, how much can I talk about on here? I can always come up with topic matter. You see, that's not really the problem. It's never a problem with me to come up with topic matter. Never has been. But people are basically drama bound. And unless you talk about drama on here, you're not going to get a lot of viewers. And then I ask myself, okay, again, which I've asked myself many times, what do you care about? Are you looking to get monetized? I got the watch hours, I got all that shit. What's the purpose? Where are we going with this channel? Really, nowhere. It's been going nowhere for a long time. People just tune in because they want to hear about legal matters. Lot of speculatory stuff going on out there, that's for sure. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay? Witches and goblins in October. Hearing a lot of speculation about this and that and that and this. Indeed. If it wasn't for drama, I don't understand what you guys would do with your life. You'd have to do something. Imagine if you didn't have YouTube. Just imagine. Well, Steve from my Philippines Information channel decided in a couple of weeks he's going to move on. I think he's turning the whole thing over to his friend, even, I don't know, maybe the money? I don't know how he's working that, but with all the years of being on there, yeah, he says time for him to go, except he might make a cameo with his friend from Thailand, on his own show. Um, but he got himself a dang girlfriend, and I think his Social Security's coming in, and I think that's the kicker, is what I'm thinking here. But maybe not. Maybe he realizes that it's the same old shit over and over again. Sometimes you come to some realization that, didn't I just talk about that last week? Okay, so today we'll talk about it again. We'll put another spin on it. I think that could only go on for so long. Really. Yeah. When I say burnout city, I mean burnout city. It really has been burned out. Uh, the times I come on here, I think it's at my moments of complete fucking utterly boredom is why I even bothered even to do a show on here. I got my moments like anybody else. I'm a retired dude. I'm not out there running relay races. I'm not jumping out of airplanes. Okay. I'm not swimming 10 miles a day. I'm not doing anything like that. It's called retirement life, and you're a lot more kicked back. I mean, you keep active. You'll do your walking shit every day, whether it's outside or treadmill or whatever it might be. You do what you can, but I'm no athlete, and I'm retired. And not getting any younger. Can't stop Father Time. So, if you've been on here as long as I've been on here, you've talked about just about everything. I don't feel like doing politics. I started talking about a little about Trump to Chump and all that, but that kind of stuff doesn't interest me. And the legal drama going on here is what drives people. Drives people. A little rumor about this, a little rumor about that, to get the other trolls all charged up, and then it's kind of like that kids game. Where the kids line up and maybe they're sitting in chairs, maybe 12 kids, and one person starts off whispering something in somebody's ear, and that message has to go to the next kid. By the time it hits like the 12th child, the story has completely changed. Well, it's kind of like that here on YouTube. By the time it's hit the 20th person or whatever, the story will develop its own wings and fly, becomes a different creature. That's YouTube. Well, it's entertainment to watch this actually, but I think the entertainment value is kind of gone. I'm not really finding any interesting vloggers on here lately, and the one strange thing I find is one channel, British, some guy, whatever, he's building a house and he's 76 years old. Well, I bought a house, but that was 3 years ago, and I'm not 76 years old, and I wasn't 76 then. I just don't see the purpose. Except, and I don't even know if he has a girlfriend. But to me, it wouldn't make sense at age of 76 to build a house. There must be a song and a rhyme about this. There must be a reason that he's doing. Like the same now, I don't feel at my age I need a car. I don't need a car. I get around with the local transportation quite well. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of expense. Oh, we thought about getting one of these little electric doo-doos, four-wheel things, so that she could, or whatever, drive the kid to school, or one or the other will drive the other one to school. That could work out. But as far as getting a regular car, nah. Nah, 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 nah. I don't think that's something that I want to do. Well, I know I'm not. So, those who decide to retire from YouTube, I will cheer them on. It means they finally awoke. Remember, it's the woke generation, right? Maybe Steve has awoken, as well as many others. If they're not dropping dead, they're getting off YouTube. Put a lot of miles in. I put a lot of miles in on this channel here, as you all very well know. I could only entertain you so much, but the important thing is for me to entertain myself. When I'm getting to the point of, utter boredom, well, then it's time and you got to start seriously thinking and not just speculating or telling people that you're going to get off YouTube and so forth and so on. He'll be back in 24 hours, and a lot of times, oh, hell yeah, a lot of times I was. I think it's going to have to come to some point where I say, hey, either want to stay on here or get the fuck off and make a decision. Don't make it to anybody else. Don't tell anybody else what you do. You just get the fuck off. I kind of made a promise to myself. See what I'm saying? Is go out and accomplish what you set to accomplish. Well, okay, to tell you the truth, it was that was a game plan, and I guess it still is. I started something, I want to finish it, and that's what I told myself anyway, to take care of some unfinished business and then get the fuck off here. It's just not rewarding to me anymore. To be quite frank with you, it's just not rewarding. And I don't mean monetarily. I never made money on here even when I was monetized. Oh, who we got? Oh, Judge Stroker. I normally listen to you on my way home from work. got a great radio voice. Well, what if I wasn't here anymore, Mr. Stoker? Nah, everything has a start and everything has an end. Same with your life. Start as a newborn baby. Then you get older and your time comes. Kind of like with YouTube. How many years can you actually spend on YouTube? And when you talked about everything with the kitchen sink, and maybe that was included too, it's very difficult sometimes, Mr. Stoker. Or are you the stroker? Oh, the stroker. Okay. Okay. By the way, that was a Says style imitation. Okay. That's Says style. So what you think about that, Mr. Stroker? Time's up. Time's up. It would be boring. Yeah, I've been finding that out. I don't know. I'm just listening to some of these older dudes on here that have shows on, and there's this one guy, and I don't know, man. He's like 76. I mean, I don't even know if there's anybody around there looking after him. He's a British guy. Got the name of the channel. But I tune in every now and then. He talks very slowly, which is kind of irritating, you know. But, yeah. Well, if it is, it is, yeah. But you've got great stories from the past, and, oh yeah, man. I still got lots of stories, but, you know, when you kind of lost your steam, you lost your steam, you know. Kind of the way I feel. When you've been on as long as I have, God, how many times did I say I was going to get off YouTube? I even lost count myself. I mean, let's be honest. I try to be honest on my show. How many times have I said that? And I'm still doing a show, right? Well, I guess it's because I forget things, meaning that a statement that I made a long time ago, saying that when I accomplish what I need to accomplish, whatever that might be, then I was going to get off. I was going to stay on long enough to, you know, kind of see some shit happening that I'd like to happen. I guess that's what I'm trying to say here. If you got great, yeah, well, I got a lot of stories. There's a lot of shit I don't talk about. And basically because some of that is just a little bit too private. You know, you can talk about yourself sometimes on here. I think one of the greatest mistakes all YouTubers, including myself, make all the time is that be careful what you talk about, because people have a good memory, or they will go into your private life, and some people know a little bit too much about you, and maybe there's a lot of things they don't know about you and they want to find out, but they're non-stop, really. They're non-stop. I think if you're going to start, and I seriously mean that, if you're going to start a YouTube channel, I think you gotta, let me shut this light off and I'll be here. I think if you're going to start a YouTube channel, I think right from the get-go, you're going to have to make a promise to yourself that I will only give out certain information about myself that anybody needs to know. You could do an introductory, but don't give anybody any idea, number one, where you live, and a lot of other information like that. But it doesn't mean that you have to hide your life in the Philippines either. Your family is part of your life, and so on. But I think somebody could do a successful show, still get information out that they'd like to tell their viewers about the Philippines, what it's like to live out here, And I qualify. I've lived out here long enough that I can and I have been very informative. I just kind of laid it all out. The good and the bad of living in the Philippines is there's a little of both. Don't let the drama knock you off course. Nah, it's played out, man. It's played out. Too much drama on here. My channel started off pretty well in the past, and it was going in a good direction. The famous chair, you know. I don't know how far back you go with me, but there was a time when I actually thought it was fun. Well, I think certain aspects is fun. Sometimes watching people make total fools of themselves, that's kind of fun. You know, and tripping over their own feet all the time, but even that gets old after a while on here. I mean, what else could you talk about? You're a foreigner living in the Philippines, right? Okay, we established that. I think most of my audience don't even come from the Philippines, or don't even live in the Philippines, to be honest with you, really. The drama is played, but you're still relevant. Well, I try to be relevant. Oh, I mean, there's so much about what's going on in the world to talk about, but everybody's just interested in drama. Okay, unless there's drama on your channel, you're not going to see a lot of subscribers. You're not going to see a lot of people tuning in. That's just common knowledge, really. A lot of people live for the drama. In fact, they spend a lot of their own personal time tuning in to certain people's channels to catch up on, oh, what happened now? Oh, really? Did he say that? Was that really going to happen? Or whatever, you know. That gets pretty old, man. And a lot of us are getting pretty old. I'm not getting any younger, pal. It is what it is. I want to preserve the rest of my life, how many years I got left in my tank of gas, you know. Anyway, I did get my, here's something personal you like to hear about. Had my procedure done, and it was kind of interesting, but boring as fucking hell. Over an hour laying there, just bum, 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 bum. Had to stay another 20 minutes. Hey, man, got a shot of fentanyl, man. I didn't even need a sedative, but it was very mild. I didn't even feel any effect of it. It must have been a very low dose of fentanyl. Fentanyl, imagine that they got that out here in the Philippines. Isn't that something? You like Frank's stories, okay. No, you're not weird. I do get good stories. Of course, you're going to hear the opposite from people, because how many shows that are seemingly kind of popular for dramatic reasons? I mean, what topic matter do they have? Like, I never told a lie. I never said that. That never happened. When everybody knows the truth. But then it's the same old broken record being played over and over again, just to try to invite more drama to the channel so they can start making money again. That's exactly what's going on with some people on here, one in particular. So he expects me to do a little rebuttal to everything he puts on, but that has come to an end. That's come to an end. Yes, it has. I believe I said what I needed to say in spades. How I feel. And when I was able to share what was going on with certain things, I did share to a limit. But you can only say so much. If there's a legal matter going on, you can't really dive very deep into it on public media. It's something you shouldn't do anyway. You are the longest standing here, and you know that. Yeah, I know. I know. So I'm going to sit here and I'm not going to make a promise that I'm getting off tomorrow or after tonight. I want you to look at it this way. If you don't hear me on, just go with that thought. If enough time goes by and you don't hear me on here, it's because I'm taking care of business, and because I'm probably actually off. Even though you might see the channel still here, it doesn't mean I'm doing shows, and you'll know if I did a show. And if I did a show, even if I took it off and put it in private, all you have to do is tune into Popeye or tune into the Swampcast. You'll know if I did a show, right? Common sense. But anyway, I gotta leave tomorrow, so I gotta head in. Anyway, I believe it was successful. My procedure, breaking up the stones. I thought I'd get the stent taken out, but nah. He said come back in a couple of weeks, do another CT scan. Yeah. See if the stones are still there. Broke up that puppy. It was just like an irritating sound, 6,000. 6,000 of them. 6,000. Crazy. And of all that, I've seen the doctor maybe twice, but he had a nurse there, male nurse technician, doing the job. I got to get you in the right position to find the stone, and okay, move a little more this way. Okay, pull yourself down a little bit this way. Put your hands above your head this way. Try to, kind of hone in on that stone. So they got it right in the crosshairs, baby. Right in the crosshairs. You are the... Okay, got that already. So, stones can return, but they expect you to drink over 3 liters of water a day to clean your system out and not get stones. Come on, listen to reality, man. Come on, drinking 3 liters or more of water per day, that's a little intense. And stick to a certain diet that's low in oxalates and this and that and that and this. How well can you actually adhere to some of these things? It's not always easy. It's not easy. I know it's better than getting stones again. It's not pleasant, I can tell you that. Not pleasant at all when I first discovered that I had, and believe me, the hard way. Hurt. He says, hell, you drown yourself drinking. Yeah, man, I can't think it's good for the body tissues. You could actually drown. You ever see these contests where people doing stupid things like how many hot dogs they could eat or how much water they could drink? That's dangerous, man. You could actually drown in your own fluid in your body. And eating a whole shitload of hot dogs, you get a heart attack. Don't worry, I'm not going into a big health spiel except to explain that. When you eat a big meal, a lot of the blood kind of goes away from your heart and goes to help your digestive system, goes in that direction. That's why you see ambulances over those buffet places, because they want to get their money's worth, and they just chow down so much food, stop a little bit, and they chow down more food. What happens with that is that you're taking some blood away from the heart, and it's going towards your digestive system, and that's why people are getting heart attacks. It might be a good thing to know, a little freebie that I'm giving you, which I don't have to give at all. I've given a lot of health advice, and either somebody takes to it or they don't. I don't have to be a doctor to give good information. It's a swimming pool. Yeah, you drown yourself. Yeah, hell yeah, man. No, I'm going to drink a lot of water. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to drink a lot of water, but it's good to clean the toxins out of your body anyway. But come on, realistically, come on. 3 liters of water a day. That means you got to be walking around with a bottle constantly. When that's out, buy another, buy another, buy another, buy another. I'll do my best, is all I can tell you. But I'm glad I got the procedure over with anyway, you know. Yeah. But then I got to come back again. But hey, you know. And then you start peeing out blood in your pee. You'll see that your urine is very orange. And you'll know it's blood. But that's normal. It's irritation from the breaking down the stone. It's, in fact, common while having a stent in, too. Sometimes irritates the lining of the ureter. So you don't get surprised if you see a little orange color in your urine. They tell you that so you don't get frightened. Oh, I've seen it today. And the way of getting rid of that, again, is drinking a lot of water. It dilutes all that, cleans it out. Sound fun, huh? I wonder if the professional types drink. If they drink what they preach. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of times they don't. I'm sure you got lung doctors that smoke too. I mean, you know, you got liver doctors that maybe drink. I mean, you know, that's just people, man, you know. Okay, I'm just going to say goodnight. No promises on anything. I'm just, it's just on Burnout City, man. If you don't hear me on, you don't hear me on. I know I've said that before, but I'll hear comments like, well, another 12 hours, 24 hours. Who's taking bets? He'll be on. You might be right. But if you don't hear from me for a while, then, well, maybe I got off. Because really, at this point, I don't even know. I'm kind of ad-libbing it right now. I don't know what the hell to talk about, and I don't want to talk about that piece of shit out there anymore. Go on my life. Let something else take care of it, you know, and it will. Everything falls into place. It does. Everything falls into place. But talking about it is not going to do anything except educate people and give them information they probably don't have any right knowing or shouldn't know, or it's actually not their business to know it anyway. You know, yeah. The POS talks enough for everyone. Well, you know, he waits for me to do a show. And this is historically, it's not just him. Everybody who was fighting with each other on here, somebody who put a show on, trying to bait them to say something so they could record it that they could use legally against them or something. They figure if they call you a bunch of names, you're going to react to it. Then you'll do a show. And we've all done this. Any YouTubers that have been on here for a while. I think a lot of people have done this besides myself. You want to get caught up in that web? Nah. But I do say what's on my mind. It's never stopped me. At least I'm truthful about what I say. But it's basically you're throwing out some bait and hoping that you bite the hook and take the bait. This way they have something more to talk about. But if you're not on anymore, what can they talk about? Well, what usually happens is they try to bait you some more. They'll call you a few extra special names and hope that you will react to it. Because without me, quite frankly, the one individual would not have a show. That's what he's worried about. Gotta admit his nonsense is funny. Yeah, it actually is. A lot of it is. Oh, I know. Wasn't that funny? Oh my God. Can't believe it's coming from a normal human mind, but well, in his case, I don't think we're talking about normal. Not the way he acts, not the way he talks. But maybe it's an end of a chapter, hopefully. Started out all meek and mild and ended up his typical self. Well, some people can't change. I welcome change. But I'm not really a person who loves conformity either. I never really was. But anyway, without making any, I want to be fair about this, without making any solid promises. First of all, I will tell you, yes, I am burned out on this. There's nobody that's chasing me off YouTube. Nobody. And I mean nobody. I just don't want to be information central here, okay? Because what I talk about is noted, it's listened to, and they go over what I say with a fine-tooth comb to try to find that information. But the information central here is not going to be giving out any information whatsoever about anything. Yeah. Monetize makes him, what, $50 a month, whatever. Yeah, that is shit money. Shit, I could spend that in a day, really. Shit, I've only been out here a few days. How much I've spent already out here? Shit. Shit. You kidding me? Well, when you're that broke, even making $50 a month, you know, after YouTube takes their cut, or any private donations, don't usually add up to a lot of money. But some of it could be enough to sustain yourself. And if you've got government help like Social Security, disability, you know, whatever you have, that helps you get along. Although they might say that they don't have it, but, you know, then again, you can't believe everything they say either, right? Especially if they have a track record. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm out of here, buddy. If you hear from me, you hear from me. If you don't, well, you still might see my channel on. And I said I made a I think I've somewhat accomplished what I think I somewhat accomplished what I'll give it 5 more minutes here. I think I somewhat accomplished what I set out to do. When I actually think about it, I did. When you think about what I'm talking about, you'll understand what I mean. Why do I feel accomplished? Well, look at the situation that he's in. I think I did pretty well. I could be greedy and say that I'll wait till this whole thing comes to total fruition. I could do that too. I'm kind of pretty satisfied with the status quo, actually, to be honest with you. I think I made my point very well. I think I accomplished something that nobody else was able to accomplish. I'm very proud of myself. It shows that when you stick to your guns, figuratively speaking, of course, you could get the job done. A lot of loudmouths on here that promise to do this and do that. Well, they don't promise anything. What they do, actually, they just like to put a word in or two on my channel to seemingly support me when they're probably trolls anyway, just to get on my good side. But when do you ever see any of these people taking action against the individual? No, they want everybody else to do it. They don't want to take part in it, but they try to push you into doing something, but they won't do it themselves. Let somebody else take the heat, spend the money and all that shit. That's all it's about, man. That's all it's ever been about. Like, I don't like the guy, but I'm not going to make a phone call. I'm not going to donate no money. I'm not going to push this. Let somebody else do the dirty work. It all comes out in the wash. Well, they figure I don't want to get my hands dirty. Isn't that the truth? But all y'all, actually. But I gotta get some shut eye here. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and had a long day today. God, been everywhere today. Malls. We ate out at a nice Italian restaurant that we ate out last time. I wasn't really totally in awe of their penne with meatballs. I think Sabaro's has a whole better kind of a penne with the white sauce, and then you just add a couple of meatballs, and it's some good eating. I ain't saying it's the healthiest eating, but I'm saying it's some really good eating. So take advantage of a restaurant when you're in town, and you're not going to find a restaurant where you live. I mean, I'm actually bored. I get a point where I actually get bored of food. And when there's nothing around the house, I just go and I wind up eating things that are actually good, actually. Hell, I can have broccoli for breakfast. Seriously. And I've done things like that. Kidney beans, I've done that stuff. I prefer to eat a healthy diet as much as I can, especially as you get older. But I said before, I've met a lot of foreigners and I just don't understand their attitude. I don't get it. Okay, the basic attitude the denominator from the people I've spoken to through the years, I don't care. I'm going to eat what I want. I'm retired. I don't care if this is fattening. I don't care if this has a lot of cholesterol. I don't care if this has a lot of salt. If I die, I die. Well, I've never had that attitude. I'm too stubborn to die. I'd fight it tooth and nail, along with everything else. But when my time comes like anybody else. Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes it's sudden, and you don't have any symptoms of anything. It happens. It's happened to millions of people. But I look at it this way. If you do good things for yourself, you will live longer. But the secret is, okay, say you got something, you're pretty messed up with some kind of medical thing, right? Do you want to be in pain for the rest of your life, however long it is you live? I say, do the maintenance that you need to do. Go for blood tests now and then, urinalysis. If you have a concern about a particular organ in your body, you may want to check it out. If you smoke, you might want to check your lungs out. If you're a drinker, you might want to check your liver out now and then. It's proper maintenance. If you got a nice car, you want to take care of it, right? You want to change the oil and whatever it is you need to do. But a lot of people have this attitude where, I don't care. They just don't really care. Just like my neighbor, he's another one. He could lose a little weight, who got a real bad infection on his toe. Well, he chooses to walk around in slippers. And I've told my audience time after time, this is not the place out here to walk around anywhere with slippers on. It's just not. And you hear these stories all the time. People get infections. I choose to wear socks and shoes at all times, except if I'm on the beach, I have something else I wear. But some people just really don't give a shit. They don't. Should I feel sorry for them? I don't. And I also think they're being very selfish with that kind of attitude, because you may have people around you that love you. And how fair is it for them if you don't do something good for yourself, and rather doing everything bad to yourself, whether you smoke, whether you drink, combination of both, whether you exercise or don't exercise. You owe it to somebody that you love, that loves you back, They don't want to see you go. Some girlfriends or wives, maybe they don't give a shit. Mine cares a lot. I try to do the best I can to kind of override some of the bad things I do. It's better than doing nothing, is the way I look at it. And the attitude, as I said, is with these people I've met. I meet so many overweight foreigners out here. I mean, they got bellies sticking out from here to eternity. And then they wonder why they're having these problems. Their kidneys get affected by that, their liver gets affected by that, their heart gets affected by their weight. But they don't seem to give a shit. Not really. They don't seem to give a shit, so why should I give a shit? You take care of yourself is what you do, and let people do the things they're going to do and deal with it. Okay. Alright, I gotta get out of here anyway. I'm getting tired. So let me end this stream and leave off by saying, whatever it is, it is. And wherever it goes, it will go. Round and round she goes, and where she stops, nobody really knows. But my best advice to my viewers, if you are, I don't want to change the subject, but if you want to really live in the Philippines, there are do's and there are don'ts. And I would say, keep to yourself and your family. It's okay to be friendly with other foreigners here and there. Hello, goodbye. Maybe a little get together now and then, having a birthday party, invite you over, or some event, or show your face. You know, doesn't mean you can't have foreigner friends, but you have to choose wisely. And I would never suggest that you start meeting people on YouTube, because when you meet somebody personally, there's too much personal information sharing. And if they're not really an upfront type person that's just out on a mission, like somebody wasn't too terribly long ago, that was in a fact-finding mission with me, and I saw right through it, and I kind of disposed of the kind of, you want to call it a new acquaintance or friendship, because I'm not a dumb shit. I saw through it, and as time went by, I proved myself right. I do follow my instincts, and I'm usually right. That's what I say, follow the instincts. Don't get too involved with people from YouTube and meet a lot of people, because there's too much information sharing. And you may just inadvertently give too much information about yourself in one of these meetings. Talk on YouTube to people, that's fine. But meeting people from YouTube, I think that's a bad idea. I've always thought it was. That's my thoughts. Good night.